Guys, really sorry I'm trying to be quiet right now because my mom's upstairs and she might be able to hear me, but can you see this? Look at this gorgeous 3-digit number. Thank you so much. I seriously can't believe we're at 100 subscribers. I get nervous when I'm talking to 2 people. So the fact that I'm potentially talking to 100 people right now, I seriously find that really crazy. So thank you guys for the 100 subscribers. I seriously never imagined myself doing all of this, but it's honestly been really fun. And also considering I don't actually see the 100 people that are subscribed to me, that probably makes it a bit easier to talk, but it's still been really fun and it's honestly been so enjoyable to talk to you guys through the screen. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing my January wrap up. I am going to try to film this a bit quickly because I'm trying to film 2 videos right now, and also I really want to get back to reading. I've been in such a reading mood this month. This year is honestly going to be great. I can feel it. January went so well. I read 12 books this month, and that's crazy, especially for me because I normally average around maybe 6 to 7 books per month, but 12? I've never gone into the double digits before, or maybe I have. I've just never counted before I started booktube, but now that I have started booktube, I've obviously been having to do these types of videos, and the fact that I read 12 books, especially some of these, considering like the size of some of these books, I find it seriously crazy. So in the first book at the beginning of January, we're starting out sort of strong. It's Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. So you may think, oh, I probably love this book. Oh, it's the second book in the Letters of Enchantment series. It's the second book to Divine Rivals. It was probably great. I liked it in the beginning, and then near the ending, I don't know, I just found it to be such a cliche fantasy ending. You may understand once you read this, or if you're ever gonna read this, but it really was such a cliche fantasy ending that it was just honestly sort of disappointing. It was very underwhelming considering how much I love Divine Rivals. This was honestly kind of just an upset. Also, I'm just now realizing, but this camera quality is really terrible, and also it's making me look really pale, so I'll try to go back to the other camera I've been normally using soon, but right now I need this one. Yeah, but anyways, I didn't like this book as much as I thought I would, considering how much I love Divine Rivals. Maybe it was the high expectations I had for this book, but I think it was just genuinely very underwhelming. It wasn't a bad book. I really liked it in the beginning. People might complain that there wasn't enough romance in here, but I'm okay with that. I am an avid like romance subplot enjoyer, so I didn't really mind that there wasn't as much romance in here. It was just the ending that really got me. Like, I wasn't expecting that sort of ending with these types of books. Again, it was just such a cliche ending. I know I keep saying that, but I really don't want to say what the ending is because obviously I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I don't know, it was just okay, I guess. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm really considering lowering my rating, but the rating that I originally gave this is 4 out of 5. Again, it wasn't a bad book. It was pretty good. It was just the ending that got me, that was just like, oh, this wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Next book we read in January is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. Now this one has been gaining some popularity considering Gabrielle Zevin is the author of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I also expected this one to be better. So basically this is about a man named A.J. Fickery, and he runs a bookstore on this tiny little island. These crazy things just keep happening to him that basically change the course of his life. Like, he used to live like such a boring, lonely life until a mysterious package ends up in his store, and then his life just takes, I think, a turn for the better. It was really funny. I liked the first half of this book. I laughed constantly during the first half of this book, but then when the romance came in, again, I'm a very avid romance subplot enjoyer. It's just when the romance came into this book specifically, I found it really boring. I'm so sorry. That might sound so insensitive considering the outcome of this book, but I don't know, I just didn't like the romance as much as I thought I would, considering the first thing I heard about this book was that the romance was really, really sweet. So I thought I would enjoy the romance as much as other people have been enjoying it, but I just found it like really boring. I think it honestly made the book worse in a way. I don't know. I found it so, I don't think it was insta-lovey. It was just not unrealistic. I don't know what to say about it. It was just, I liked the story before the romance came into the book. I don't know, but the first half of this book was really, really great. The second half I didn't like as much. I rated it a 3 out of 5. Again, like Divine Rivals, it wasn't bad. It was just, it might be mixed in with my slight high expectations, but I did get bored near the second half of this book. Next book we read is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Please don't come after me for my opinions about this book. I did not like this book as much as other people liked it. Please don't kill me. Oh my god. So basically, basically it's about this girl named Peyton, and she lives in a world where everyone is supposed to have powers. If you don't have powers, if you're an ordinary, you're supposed to be killed off, executed. You're not supposed to exist in this world because the people with powers believe that those who are ordinary are kind of like a plague almost. If they infect you, then you yourself will lose your power. So the ordinaries are very feared in this world, and the ordinaries are also just in hiding, and they're just trying to live their lives, but they'll obviously not have the best lives because those with the more powerful magic live a very upper class life, and then those who have like the weaker powers live in like the poorer sectors of the kingdom. And that's obviously where Peyton lives because she can't really pretend to have a powerful power. She pretends to be a psychic to like try and hide, try to survive, but then one day she's picked to be a contestant in this very dangerous trial or like competition. It's very similar to the Hunger Games, and obviously there's like a romance in here. The banter was good. Sorry, I really don't know what to say about the romance of this book. I did not like the couple. I might be killed for saying that too, but I don't know. I just found this book to be really repetitive. I liked it in the beginning. That was when it was not repetitive, obviously, but as the book went on, it just got very, very repetitive. Also, it's kind of scary how similar to the Hunger Games this is. If you like the Hunger Games, I feel like you'll like this. I personally just didn't like it because, again, I found it very repetitive. I found the author didn't exactly know how to write fight scenes. Is that bad to say? I don't know, but okay, before I say anything else about this book, please go support this author. I do believe this is her debut novel. So if you are interested, please go support her. But personally, I don't know, I just found she didn't know how to write fight scenes correctly. Like, I get that the main character has a certain style of fighting, but then the people she's fighting, they should not have the same styles of fighting as the other people she had already fought, because she fought everyone literally the exact same way that she fought like the previous person. Like the next person, she would just do the exact same fight moves, and I'm just like, okay, the fights are getting really repetitive. And then the romance was also really repetitive. It would just be, she gazed into the eyes of, what's his name again? Kai? I think his name was Kai. And it would just be that same gazing into eye thing over and over again every time they met or were in the same room. And then every single romantic moment between Kai and Pei was like a trope. I'm just saying this, but I feel like the author, every time she needed to write a romantic scene, she would just be looking into like this folder and being like, oh, what trope haven't I used yet? I found the romance to almost be like an escape mechanism because the author didn't know how to write fight scenes. Oh god, I should stop talking, honestly. I feel like I'm gonna die for saying these things. I am so sorry, but I didn't like this book. I rated it a 3 out of 5. It would be a book I recommend to other people, but personally I just didn't like it, and I'm gonna shut up now. Next book I read is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I liked this book. Okay, before I say my opinion, I should probably explain what it's about. So basically it's in this dystopian world. There's like this mass plague, sickness, what is this called? I'm not even sure, but it's just spreading to all the children. None of the adults, it's only the children, or like teenagers and below. It's either if you're a child or a teenager, you die, or if you survive, you get a power. If you get a power, you're separated into these certain colored groups. Greens being the smart ones, blues being the telekinetic ones, yellows being the ones who can control like electricity, reds who can control fire, and then the last one is oranges who can control people's minds. And also there are like these institutions in these world where the adults try to control like the proximity of the children from like the outside world. So the children, just if they get caught and they're taken to that institution, they're just never meant to leave. They have to stay there until they're cured, but in reality they just never get cured. Yeah, and so our main character is Ruby, and she is an orange, but she manages to pretend she's a green. And so one day she manages to escape the institution and meets this friend group that she becomes really close with. And so yeah, they're just trying to live in this world full of adults and children with powers, and the adults who are just trying to control them when really they just want a life of freedom, try to live as they are instead of being feared all the time. I liked this book to a certain extent. I rated it a 3.75 out of 5. I did think it was really good. I enjoyed this. I liked the found family aspect. I liked the romance. Oh my god, Liam is great. I'm just besides that, the reason I didn't give it a full 4 stars, I don't know, there was just something about this book that aggravated me. And also, normally I'm the type of person that likes the setup of a world. I like world building. I'm not sure if that's weird, but I genuinely like world building in fantasy books. And in this one, I just found the world building to be really boring. It took me a while to get into this book in the beginning. I think I had to read like 150 pages maybe until I started actually getting into the book, or like I had to read until she met that specific friend group to actually start enjoying the book to its full extent. Yeah, but I don't know. 3.75 out of 5. I thought thought it was really good. I did enjoy it. The romance is really good. And also I watched the movies of this so long ago, so that's probably the main reason why I want to read this in the first place. Yeah, I'll say this for the last time. Ruby and Liam, a very, very good subplot romance. Next book we have is This Time Is Real by Anne Liang, my annual romance book. I'm kidding. I do somehow only read like one romance book per month though, and that's probably, I wouldn't call it an issue. I'm just not a romance reader. This is about, oh, what's the main character's name? Eliza, who writes a fake essay for her English class, but the thing is about this specific essay, it's posted on like their school blog, and like she goes to like this very rich and elite school. So this blog is seen by so many people, and one day it just goes viral on social media. But the thing is, obviously that essay is fake, and what she wrote about in that essay is her supposed love life with this amazing guy. And so to not get caught, she has to sort of pretend that she is actually dating someone, even though she's literally never dated anyone in her life. And that person she's dating is Kaz Song. It is a fake dating trope, and basically their whole relationship is just being exposed to social media because people are like, oh, what happens next? Oh, I want to know more. And so yeah, she starts becoming like a sort of influencer, sort of famous, because people love her writing, and also this guy is slightly famous. He is an actor. I think Anne Liang is the only romance author that I will instantly buy if she releases a new book. I know there's those popular romance authors like Anna Huang and Sophie Lark and Emily Henry, but honestly Anne Liang is probably like my go-to romance author. I may also just connect to her characters too because they're Asian and it's very entertaining to read her romance books. Sometimes they do get a bit crazy like near the ending, but honestly that just makes it more entertaining. Oh, did I say my rating? I rated this a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. The romance is so cute. Anne Liang's romances are always so adorable. The next 3 books I read in January is part of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. We have The Titan's Curse, book 3, The Battle of the Labyrinth, which is book 4, and then The Last Olympian, which is final book, sort of. I rated each of these a 5 out of 5. I don't know, these just brought out like my inner child. I always love reading middle grade series too, because if I'm being honest, they have like the best subplot romances. Like Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, love that one. Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. I honestly just love reading middle grade series, and this series was just so nostalgic, honestly, because it reminded me of like all the middle grade series I used to read and still love, honestly. If you don't know what the Percy Jackson series is about by now, then I'm really not sure what you've been doing, considering the TV series has been such a hit. I love the TV series so far. But yeah, Rick Riordan, such a good writer, honestly. He gave us Percabeth. I am so surprised, honestly, and I'm not saying that just because he's a man. Is that bad to say? I have no clue, but you know how most famous romances are written by women, but Rick Riordan did such a good job with Percabeth. Their slow burn over 4 years is crazy, and I love it so much. 5 out of 5 series. Oh my god. Okay, next 2 books is honestly one of my new favorite series of all time. It's probably actually my new favorite series of all time. The Monsters of Verity duology by VE Schwab. Her books are masterpieces, and I love her. So the first book in this duology is The Savage Song. Basically, this book is about, in this world, there's humans and monsters. Monsters are created by like tragic events, and depending on like the level of that tragic event, it can be like a different level of monster. And there are 2 main characters in this book, Kate and August. Kate is a human, August is a monster. Except Kate's dad is kind of like, I guess you could say, the abusive type. He's very power hungry. He likes controlling the monsters. He does control the monsters. And Kate is just trying to prove that she can be useful to her father. And like I said, August is a monster, but all he wants to be is human. So he tries to act human. He tries to like imitate humans' expressions, humans' actions. Yeah, and one day they just cross paths. If you want to know what happens from there, you'll have to read the book. I'm sorry, I can't really go into too much detail without spoiling. Oh my god, the subplot romance in this is so good. I love them so much. These books have been like my hyperfixation this whole month. Ever since I read them, I can't stop thinking about them. Our Dark Duet, such a crazy ending. I rated each of these books a 5 out of 5, and together they are 6 out of 5 series. My new favorite series, honestly, and also VE Schwab has become like my new favorite author. Any book she writes now, I'm probably just gonna instantly buy. These books are my new babies. Next book we have is another VE Schwab book, Gallant, which is one of her standalone. Oh, just like the Monsters of Verity duology, this is also one of her YA books. VE Schwab, I believe, mostly writes adult fantasy books now. So basically, this book is about a girl named Olivia. Olivia has always longed for a home, always longed for a family, and one day she gets a letter from her uncle saying that she still has family left. Originally, Olivia lived in an orphanage because her mother just dropped her off there, and so she gets a letter from her uncle saying she has a family out there, and if she wants to, she's welcomed home. And so she goes back home to this place called Gallant. She discovers Gallant isn't exactly normal. There's two sides to it. One scary side to it and one side where it seems peaceful on that side, but the people on like the so-called normal side are going through their own sort of hell. And so she just discovers like this very scary, haunting world. Yeah, I really don't know how to explain this, but I really enjoyed it for some reason. There is no romance in this book, so if you're the type who can't read a book without romance, I don't know, because I feel like I'm the type to read a book with romance in it. Like I said, this book doesn't have any romance in it, and I didn't expect it to enjoy it as much as I did. I rated it a 4 out of 5, which is really surprising because I thought there would be a subplot romance in here, and then I searched it up online later. I saw someone said there's no romance in here, and I was just like, oh well. I did almost DNF this book for that reason, but then I continued reading it and I just found new reasons to like it. Can I just say, VE SCHWAB is such a scary storyteller. I don't mean scary as in like a horror book. I mean scary as in like heart pounding, if that makes sense. If you've read VE SCHWAB before, that might make sense, but I'm not gonna say why they're heart pounding because that's definite spoiler. And then the last book we have in the month of January is another VE SCHWAB book. I really got into VE SCHWAB this month. I read one book by her. The first book I read by her was The Savage Song, and then I just continued to read 3 more books. She is honestly such an amazing author. VE SCHWAB's writing is so interesting. I don't know why I'm like so absorbed in it or like so interested in it once I start reading. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. I don't have to explain it. You'll have to read one of VE SCHWAB's books if you fully want to understand it, but she's fully become my new favorite author. Oh yeah, but the last book I have here is A Darker Shade of Magic, and it's the first book in her Shades of Magic trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. So this book is about 2 characters, Kel and Lila. Kel is a magician who can travel to multiple Londons. There's 3 Londons in this world. The one Kel lives in is Red London, and then there's Grey London, which is a London with no magic. There's White London, which is like a very violent version of London. Oh, and then there is one more, Black London, but that one is like forbidden. And then Lila is like a thief. She has to steal off of people purely to survive, and she lives in Grey London, which is the London with no magic. And so one day Kel receives this black stone that is very, very dangerous. It's from Black London, and so for the stone not to fall into the wrong hands, he's like, I have to bring this back to Black London, otherwise the world's gonna be in danger, because this stone is genuinely very dangerous. It can do almost anything. Him and Lila just team up to bring this stone back to London. I don't want to say too much because I don't know, this is such an intricate story. It was so interesting. VE SCHWAB really has a way of writing characters. Like, you get so attached to these characters, and I heard there was a very good subplot romance in here. I can tell it's already started off so well. Like, they're just developing their friendship in this book, and so I know the next 2 books, the subplot romance is gonna be so, so good. Oh, what did I rate this? I rated it a 4.25 out of 5. I thought it was really good, but also I believe it is like the setup to something bigger, and so I have a feeling the next 2 books I'm just gonna fall in love with. Is that all? Yeah, I think that's all. I think that's 12 books. And so yeah, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Again, thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers, and I hope you guys had a good reading month. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite book of January was. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!